There's a gentleman by the name of David Schroer, who got hired by the Library of Congress, okay, to be a special terrorist analyst. All right? Very, very prestigious job title. He has a lot of experience in counterterrorism. He used to be an ex-Special Forces colonel.
Okay, that makes sense.
He was a terrorism specialist. He has jumped from airplanes, undergone grueling combat training in extreme heat and cold, commanded hundreds of soldiers, helped run Haiti during the U.S. intervention in the 90s. This guy is super qualified for the job.
Sounds like a badass.
So, naturally, a woman by the name of Charlotte Pierce hired him.
Okay, that, so far, perfectly sensible. I rule in everybody's favor.
Exactly. A few days before he was to report to duty, he got fired.
Huh, that's interesting. Where he got hired and he got fired. Why? What could have possibly changed in that amount of time?
He had been dressing as a woman in secret for years, and he decided he didn't want it to be a secret anymore. He was going to go for a full-on sex change and become a woman.
You go get him, girl. And apparently that did not sit well with the Library of Congress.
Definitely not. So they fired him. And now he has brought on a lawsuit. He says that this is discrimination and it's not right. What do you think?
All right. Here is why he has filed a lawsuit. Because it is discrimination. It's almost like the definition of discrimination. The person who hired him said, yeah, I was kind of wigged out by the fact that you turned into a chick, so I fired your ass.
Right.
This is the most open and shut case in TYT Supreme Court history. Now, look, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's quote-unquote normal. I don't know who normal, what really is normal, but, if she flips out a little bit internally, and there's a little gossip around the Library of Congress office, I get it, right?
This woman, Diane Pierce, this is what she says in her defense. She says that she worries that the library, it could put the library in peril. And that is
in peril.
In peril.
Peril.
Right.
Peril. There's a tranny in that library. What's going to happen?
Right. And that his appearance in women's clothing could make his contacts in government less willing to cooperate with him, and that his impending surgeries, facial surgery, could make him appear more feminine. Possible genital surgeries in the future could also distract him from his job.
Well, genital surgery could distract you a little bit. By the way, Jesus already did the transformation and labeled her Cenk Uygur there in the last clip. So you're getting ahead of it there. Listen, if she had gone to his sources and did due diligence and said, hey, look, he's out in the public about it. In the old days, they used to fire gay people, etc. And they said, well, you never know, because the Soviets could use this against them to blackmail them and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe in 1956, right? But this guy's out in the open. There's no blackmail. There's no issue of that. And then you say, oh, well, it's going to impede his work with his sources. Well, why didn't you go ask them? And when the reporters go and ask them, his sources are like, no, yeah.
We couldn't care less.
They're like, yeah, he's a totally good guy, and I don't give a damn if he's a guy or a girl. So what? Yeah, of course I'd still work with him.
And I don't see how him becoming a woman, by the way, he changed his name to Diane Jacqueline. I don't see how David turning into Diane is going to make such a huge difference. But
it seems like you put on some weight after the transformation.
It looks like it, yeah. It might be from the hormones and stuff. Hormones make you gain weight.
Yeah, because he looks like an older chick there on the right, whereas I feel like he could have done an all right job of transformation if he just policed that mustache on the left. You know what I'm saying? Throw on some lipstick and you're halfway there. Seems like I'm not sure that surgery was as good as it could have been, but I'm nitpicking here, But my favorite part of the story is trannies in the library will imperil the library. That's really funny because I just remembered I have a tranny in the library story.
Oh, you do? Of course. Only Cenk would have a tranny in the library story.
I think I have a story for every single occasion. Like anything you can come up with, I'll have a story. All right, so here's a tranny in the library story. In Miami, I was going to co-host this show once, and they gave me this co-host that I never met before, and we decided that it was a wild and crazy show. We decided that we were going to interview a couple of trannies for the show, right? And that would be the theme and stuff. And we found a couple in the clubs, and then we brought them in. We did the interview. I've talked about that in the past. And then the guy, we go out to lunch to meet one another before we do the show, as we should. And he tells me, oh, it's funny, I had an experience with a tranny. I was like, not interesting. Okay, what's up? And he said, but I didn't know. I said, okay, look, it's okay. It's okay, right? It's Miami. It's okay, right? Whatever. So, no. He says when he was a student at the University of Miami, some really hot chick comes up to him at the library and says, hey, how you doing? Can you help me with this psychology study I have? I need you to fill out a survey. Can you come downstairs to whatever they called it down there where nobody else was sitting and take this survey with me, right?
Downstairs, eh?
Downstairs. And he's like, well, she's hot. Yeah, why not? Let me go take your survey, see how it turns out for me, right? And so they sit in one of those things where there's like a little screen between them so you can't see. You know what I'm talking about? Those desks they have in the library? And he's taking this nonsense survey. Next thing you know, he feels a little on his leg.
Oh my
okay?
God.
So just a little playing a little footsie. And he's like, oh, damn, is this on? Right? And then he feels a little hand going up his thigh. He's like, whoa, this is on. Right? And then next thing you know, she dives downstairs. Okay?
So she goes to work right away.
She went to work inside the library. Okay? Warning, tranny in the library. Okay? So, and then he says, oh, I pulled back and I didn't do it. And I thought, and then the story, now you know the punchline, he goes to this restaurant that they used to have back in the day with his mom that had tranny waitresses, right? On Lincoln Road in Miami. And lo and behold, she's the waitress.
Oh my God.
And she's like, hey, how you doing? He's like, oh, I'm cool. I mean, not that I've ever met you.
Wow. That's really funny.
So, hey, look, sometimes there is a tranny in the library. I've always, every time I think of that story, I thought, I love the part where he's like, oh, I pulled away and didn't do it. And I'm like, okay, if you say so.
But what do you think?
Because remember, he thought she was a hot girl.
Right.
Why would you pull away from a BJ from a hot girl in the library? Unless you're ironically gay. You see what I'm saying? Either he knew it wasn't really a girl and pulled away, so the whole thing, I didn't know she was a tranny, is questionable. Or he thought it was a girl and he pulled it.
No.
See how that story breaks down a little bit? Okay, I'm not saying anything, although I've clearly stated what I'm saying.
Definitely.
All right.
Man, that must be so creepy.
Yeah, but you know what? That's kind of a funny thing. I mean, your mind's got to be doing some loops. I'm not sure it is creepy. I'm not. But then, you probably like start to question yourself. Like, wait, is this like oral that I really enjoyed? But then it later turned out that the person who gave it to me, although a hot girl had a penis, does that make me retroactively gay? I mean, does that at least make you fastened by curious? I don't know. But you got to jump through some mental loops to try to get yourself psychologically okay then.